Testing, testing. Shalom, can you hear me? Let me know how we sounding. Oh yeah, it's a new update on here. Can you hear me?
Con, I can hear you.
There we go. Somebody with some damn sense. I see Kanye with his damn mic off mute, and I don't hear him saying a damn thing. All praise to the Most High, man. We back again. Shalom Dayak, moderating the chat. So like you for the long delay. We're having some technical difficulties over here. StreamYard is updated. There's all type of stuff going on. Shalom to the people that's here. Shalom, Rashad. All praise to the Most High. Let's get these lights up. Welcome to YLK Live class. Y'all see it? We about to get started today, man. All praise to the Most High. Just checking stuff, making sure everything. Let me know. Put some ones in the chat if y'all here, if you can hear me. What's going on? Shalom. Hope everybody had a lovely day. It's still the Sabbath. If you celebrate the lunar Sabbath, that's what time it is right now. All praise to the Most High. Still sun out there, so we still on the Sabbath. We see everybody coming through. I don't know if shop stuff working or not right now. Like, share, subscribe, man. Y'all see what my moderator said. That's what time it is. Let's get these lights up. Everybody like it. Share it. Tell a friend. Share it on Facebook. Tell them come holler at us. Tell them y'all know some Hebrew Israelites. They want to ask some questions. They want some smoke, whatever. Come talk to us. Let's talk about the Bible. Just tell them to make sure they have some decorum. You know what I'm talking about? They believe Brother Kanye say you having some mic trouble. What's going on? He must have to leave off and come back on. Let's see, though. Let's see, man. Should have a good one through the spirit and power of Yahawah Hamashayach, man. Yes. Yes, sir. Shalom, Yasharala in the building.
Shalom, shalom, salak.
Oh, yep. I hear you loud and clear. I don't know what's going on with Kanye's microphone. Watch that boy if he's being a secret agent. There's agents in this truth, guys. You gotta keep your eyes open.
Making sure everything's straight. Technical difficulties.
Yeah, but we're good. I mean, we sounding good. Okay, I'm just seeing this new stuff on here, man. It's crazy. Oh, okay. You can invite guests to the studio like that. Got you. I see. You have up to 6 people on the screen at the time. Okay. All praise to the Most High, man. We back again for another live class. I'm a salute in. Lord willing, Brother Kanye come back on. But without further ado, I'd like to say, call Halal, Yahawah, Bahashim Hamashayac Yahawashi. And that's all praise to the Most High God, whose real name is Yahawah in the Paleo Hebrew. We do so in the name of his son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Real name, Yahawah Hamashayac. I'm your brother Ratazian Yahawah, and we are Yahawah's law keepers, aka YLK, until Judgment Day. Here to prophesy the uplifting of the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, who are the biblical children of Israel, and to prophesy the downfall of this wicked kingdom, which you may know as America. But according to the Bible, it is Mystery Babylon, Sodom and Egypt, and the mother of all harlots. That's where we are. And that's what we're trying to escape from. We want our people to come out of this place mentally and understand that this is not your place of rest, man. All praise to the Most High. As I said again, Shabbat Shalom is still, the Sabbath until sundown, which is evening. So, Lord willing, we have a wonderful, powerful, and edifying lesson for you. And I'm here with my brothers, as always, let you introduce themselves. We're going to get right to it. All praise to the Most High. Shalom.
Shalom. Am I heard?
You are. You sound a little low, though.
What about now? It's still low?
No, there we go.
Okay. All praises, Shalom, and Salakia family for the technical difficulties, but all praises. It's your brother Kanye. You feel me? We back again with another mighty lesson, man. Through the Spirit, all praises. And I'm gonna just keep it short and sweet, man. We gonna keep it going.
Shalom, shalom, call Yahawah. You know what it is. Another powerful lesson through the Spirit of the Most High God, Yahawah, in the name of His only begotten Son YAHAWASHI.
That's right. That's right. Sha might have to drop on the phone. I see I sent him a link or whatever because I don't know what's going on his computer. But about to say, I guess we could really get going. I know you. Well, I don't see you sharing your screens. We can do this word of the day and go into it. But today's lesson is titled. Was really a question, for everybody. Are you righteous/wise according to the word of God? Because everyone might have their own idea of what it means to be righteous or what wisdom is, in their own eyes. But we want to do everything. If you're a believer in who the word really calls Jesus Christ, if you're a believer in God, we have to understand that what he says wisdom and what he says righteousness is. We can't establish our own righteousness. We have to understand what God views as righteous and what counts to him. That's the only thing that matters. Not what we think, but what God thinks. And God only, right? But before we get into that, that's just the title. So that's something for you to think on. If you got anything, let us know. What do you think being righteous or wisdom is? Having wisdom, being wise, what that is. We're going to start off right here with the word of the day. Don't hear Brother Kanye. Handle your business.
Am I still heard?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, there you go, right there. I don't know, I had to plug my headphones in, but all praises, man. The word of the day, just 2 Corinthians 1:7 in the NLT says, "We are confident that as you share in our sufferings, you will also share in the comfort God gives us." You know what I mean? So, the apostles they went through some hardships, like for the sake and for the name of Yahawashi. So if you sharing in that, then you understand that you're gonna partake in the comfort and the glory that is gonna be revealed. So, you feel me? Stay true, stay enduring, and keep and safeguard your spirit. Pray to the Most High, man. So, all praises. And there you go. You had a specific scripture you wanted to start with?
Where's Shashab? Give me your mic check.
Oh yeah.
Shalom. Y'all can hear me?
Yep. Loud and clear. That's what I wanted to see.
Kind of on my phone. So Kanye, I had a hold on. I can't do that. Yeah, I had a specific verse. Shalom to the chat, man. Everybody, make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, man. Show some love to us. Get us in that algorithm. Trying to teach this word in these last days, man. Shalom. Can you grab Wisdom of Solomon chapter 1 and verse 1? Right. As y'all see the title, Are you righteous/wise according to the Bible or according to the word of God? This is something that we got to continuously examine ourselves on, right? Because ultimately, we know righteousness goes back to the laws, statutes, and commandments, right? But it's also other books of wisdom that you can read to gain a better understanding of how to operate in life, right? And how to be wise as kings, as noble leaders, as the watchmen we are in these last days. You feel what I'm saying? So you can bring this out from the top a lot.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1 and verse 1. Love righteousness, ye that be judges of the earth. Think of Yahawah with a good heart, and in simplicity of heart seek him.
Salak, right? Can you grab this in the GNT? My bad. Let's grab this in the GNT. Right, but like I say in the first part, I can just get that says love righteousness, right? Love doing the things that God view as pleasing, right? When you do things, when you live your life by your fruits, right? Because this is what people are going to see you for, the things that you are trying to obtain, right? And this is why we must love righteousness, right? Right, and in this verse it says, or in this translation it says, love justice, right? Can you look up that word righteousness real quick, just on Google? I just want to get some synonyms for it, right? Because these are the things we must love, things of this category, right? Right. Let's see. Type in righteousness.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Right. It says goodness, virtuousness, uprightness. Usually you have more. Scroll down, see if you can get, or take the definition off here. Just type in, yep, there you go. Integrity, morality, uprightness, um, holiness, piety, right? One other one I was seeing earlier, it referenced back to being pure, right? Being pure in your actions, your thoughts, your words, and everything, right? So nobody can come against you and say anything bad against you, right? So you can go back. Oh, there you go. Yep. Morality, integrity. Go to see more real quick. Usually have more, right? You can go back to it though. Go back to the scriptures, right? But he said love, righteousness slash justice, right? Keep going.
This is in the GNT. It says, love righteousness, you rulers of the earth of the world. Set your mind sincerely on the Lord and look for him with all honesty.
Mm-hmm.
Those who do not try to test him will find him. He will show himself to those who trust him.
Right. By you loving righteousness, by you seeking the Lord, right? Like it said in Isaiah 55:8, I believe, seek ye the Lord. They I forget how it goes, but it says, seek the Lord while he may be found. Right? Keep going.
Dishonest thoughts separate people from God. And if we are foolish enough to test him, his power will put us to shame.
That's right. And this is why we have to be mindful of these things, because this is a part of being wise. Once you're righteous and you understand the things of the law, you're going to automatically look to please God, right? And this is why I say, whoever look for him with all honesty, he's going to show himself to you. And this is what we must be doing in these last days. And this is us showing that we are righteous and we are pure and we are trying to receive wisdom, right? And then from here, you can grab Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, right? Because all of these things ultimately, yep, in the GNT, because all of these things ultimately goes back to the word of God, which is the law, statutes, commandments, thus saith the Lord, red letter. All of these things all revolve around the same thing, right? Let me see. It's a lot. It be keep loading on my junk. No, it's cool. You can start from the top.
This is the book of the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6 and verse 1. So then, or in the GNT, Salakia. So then, you kings, you rulers the world over, listen to what I say and learn from it.
Mm-hmm.
You govern many lands and are proud that so many people are under your rule. This authority has been given to you by the Lord Most High.
Right. So the people that's out here teaching on the highways and byways, the people that got views on their YouTube channels, or people are paying attention to us, right? We are the rulers of our people in today's time. We are the sheep. I mean, we are the pastors of the sheep, right? Of the lost sheep, because we are here trying to bid people to that marriage. So we have to be mindful of the things that we are doing, right? Keep going.
He will examine what you have done, and what you plan to do.
Right. So he's going to test you. He's going to test your hearts. He's going to examine the things that you're doing behind closed doors, the things that you're doing amongst people, right? Amongst your loved ones, the people you probably have strife with, just anything you do, right? And this goes with Ecclesiastes 12, right? He should bring every Ecclesiastes 12 and 13 or 14, he should bring every act into judgment, whether it be good or evil, right? Keep going.
You rule on behalf of God and his kingdom. If you do not govern justly, if you do not uphold the law, if you do not live according to God's will, you will suffer sudden and terrible punishment. Judgment is especially severe on those in power.
Mm-hmm. Right. And just with that, this is why I tell us, right, in the book of Peter, tells us that judgment shall begin at the house of God, right? Because judgment is going to begin with those that know, and the ones that are teaching, right? He's going to make an example out of certain people because they follow not in righteousness, right? Keep going.
God. Verse 6. Common people may be mercifully given for their wrongs, or forgiven for their wrongs. But those in power will face a severe judgment. The Lord of all is not afraid of anyone, no matter how great they are. He himself made everyone, great and common alike. and he provides for all equally. But he will judge the conduct of rulers more strictly.
Right. And we know an example of this was Ratazian went into Samuel, right? Samuel probably did a few things off to the Lord, right? But the Lord had to get rid of him. The Lord made Samuel an example,
Oh,
right?
Saul.
Saul,
Saul.
Salakia. Yeah,
Mhm.
Saul, my bad. But yeah, Saul, he made Saul a prime example of how a ruler can easily be done away with, right? And we must take these things, and this is where the wisdom come in at. We must take these things and people mistakes as wisdom to guide our lives, along with reading this, right? Keep going.
God. Verse 9. It is for you, mighty kings, that I write these words, so that you may know how to act wisely and avoid mistakes.
Right. And this is why I think Paul said that in Romans 15, or it's one of his letters where he say all of these things were written for our knowledge, right? Aforetime for our knowledge and understanding, right? All of our forefathers and prophets and the people that got judged or the people that got judged righteously, right? These is for us to act wisely and avoid mistakes, right? Keep going. You can finish with this verse 10.
God says, these are holy matters, and if you treat them in a holy manner, you yourselves will be considered holy. If you have learned this lesson, you will be able to defend yourself at the judgment.
Right. And that's what's most important because we all know that this place is coming to an end. So we have to be focused on judgment day, right? Do you think that you're going to be judged righteously, or do you think do you think you'll be judged righteously? Do you think the Lord is going to bless you with the things that you want, or he's going to condemn you for the things that you did in your life? And this is how you continuously examine yourself, right? And can you grab that I think it's First Corinthians 2, or just look up in the Blue Letter Bible, examine in faith. Look up them two words because I had to pull it up on my laptop, but my junk just keep restarting. And I can't lead
You
streaming
said
up.
it go like examine yourself to see if your faith is genuine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. And this is what we must do, and this is what wisdom come in at. On a day-to-day basis, we have to continuously examine ourselves to make sure that we are walking how the Most High wants us to walk, as Christ walked, right? By keeping the laws, statutes, commandments, having mercy, and having faith upon our people and faith in our God, right?
That's right.
Yeah, you can bring that out.
God, this is the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 13 and verse 5 in the NLT. Examine yourselves to see if your faith is genuine. Test yourselves. Surely you know that Yahawah HaMashaYACH is among you. If not, you have failed the test of genuine faith.
That's right. If Christ is among you, if he is in your mind on a daily basis that you wake up and you think, are you thinking about Christ's words? Are you thinking about the things that the prophets have said and the wisdom that Solomon have given us, or the book of Sirach? Are you ingraining these thoughts in your mind to become a better person? All right, because this is what this is all about, right? And with that, I know y'all probably got some precepts. Y'all can go ahead.
You had something, Tazian?
Yeah, I was thinking about a couple things, man. Shalom, DB, my brother in the building, man. Shalom, King. All praise to the Most High. So I'm just thinking, like I said, we posed the question. Like, I just want to know, like I said earlier, people have different things of, what is considered either, righteous in their eyes, to self. We might think certain things is righteous, but it could, like, is it righteous according to the word of God? So I just, the Bible is my foundation. So I want to use everything that the Bible says. And basically that's what I build my foundation off of. And if you're a believer in who the word calls Jesus Christ, you should as well, right? So I also want to just time that wisdom or being wise according to God is righteousness, and just to show these things according to the Bible. So I want to start with let's get Deuteronomy chapter 4 real quick in verse 5. Start at verse 5. You already know what I need. Get a couple little points, and I'm gonna go back and forth because I really got a couple other little things, but I was still piecing some stuff together. But you can get that. Start at verse 5 for me, Baba Kushah.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as Yahawah my power commanded me, that you should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it.
Mm-hmm.
Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations,
Yep.
which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
Mm-hmm.
For what nation is there so great, who have God so nigh unto them, as Yahawah our power is in all things that we call upon him for?
Uh-huh.
And what nation is there so great, that have statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law which I set before you this day?
Right. So this is our wisdom in the sight of the nations, the law, statutes, and commandments, which is given from God, right? Everything that he told us to do, this is what makes us wise, and this is literally what makes us righteous. So literally our righteousness comes from the Most High himself. He decides what righteousness is, and he is who makes us righteous by the rules, statutes, commandments, and laws that he's given us, right? And I want to hit this point home with another point in Deuteronomy as well. Let's get Deuteronomy chapter 6, and I just need verse 24 and 25, right? Just to show this is exactly what he says, and this is what. So it's just show like I asked, like with the question, it said, "Are you righteous / wise according to the Bible?" The Most High told us what would be wisdom, but look what he says about this, right? With these two verses right here.
God, this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, and verse 24. And Yahawah commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear Yahawah our power, for our good always, that he might preserve us alive as it is at this day.
Right. So he commanded us, he gave us all these things in order for us to do it, and it was always for our good. Think about it. Yahawah is never going to tell us to do something and it's going to work against us. He's going to tell us to do something and it's going to lead to our demise or something like that, or leave us forsaken. He's not. So he's given us anything he gives us is for our good. So when you hear people think like or say that we don't have to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, that is literally the only thing that we got from the Most High up high. This is what we got from him, right? But he said he gave us this for our good. Now finish this out.
God. And it shall be all righteousness.
It shall be what?
All righteousness.
See, the law is our righteousness. And what else?
If we observe to do all these commandments before Yahawah our power, as he have commanded us.
You see what I'm saying? This is what makes you righteous as a person. This is what makes you righteous as a follower of Yahawah Bashim Yahawashah. The law, statutes, and commandments. This is for our good. He told us if we obey his commandments, you know what I mean, we will have life. And that's literally what we have to do. We have to follow him because we understand that, the wages of sin are death. And sin is literally breaking his law, statutes, and commandments according to the words of God, right? And I just want to get really just go into another little chapter or whatever, just to show the difference so we understand what righteousness is. Let's see what righteousness is here. According here, let's see what it says in the blue letter real quick.
Says justice, righteousness in government, of judge, ruler, king, of law, of Davidic king, Messiah, righteousness of God's attribute, righteous in case or cause, truthfulness. You see, justification, salvation. Damn.
Yeah, righteous acts. So it's a word, it's a deed, it's in truth, it's in belief, it's the attribute of God. Truthfulness, ethnically right.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Ethically right, excuse me. Right? So right just mean in ethics, right? So this is literally an attribute of God that he's laying upon us. So you can't be righteous unless you have what he's giving you. He literally is what makes any person righteous, because righteousness comes from him. Exactly. Point blank, period. Right. I want to give one little point before I go to this little chapter, because I'm probably going to go deep into a chapter. Let's get Isaiah 33 just to show the difference. And this is what he says about certain things, right? When people who are righteous or being upright, which is another word for basically being righteous, right? Give me Isaiah chapter 33. Let's get down to verse 15.
God. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 33 and verse 15. He that walketh righteously and speaketh uprightly, he that despiseth the gain of oppressions, that shaketh his hand from holding of bribes, that stoppeth his ears from hearing of blood, He shutteth his eyes from seeing evil.
Mm-hmm.
He shall dwell on high. His place of defense shall be in the munitions of rocks. Bread shall be given him, his water shall be sure.
So look, everything when he's just said about what an upright person would be, you know what I mean, it's contrary to what this world is, right? They despise the gain of oppressions. They're not shaking hands, or you can't buy them off and take bribes. Like, I'm gonna give you this money to look the other way. We gonna, you know, shit on this community for lack of better terms. Just think about the stuff that happened in Flint. Do you
Hush
think
money.
if a righteous leader will allow stuff like that to happen to a town's water system? They don't have clean water. You know what I mean? Stuff like this where or you can buy off a judge, you can pay off somebody to ignore a crime. All of that stuff is wickedness.
Yeah. Hush money.
You know what I mean? How do you feel righteous, but you can be bought? You know what I mean? That's your integrity. And that's what it means. Like when they use the term like someone sold their soul, you're not literally selling your soul, but you are your integrity. And we saw that righteousness goes back to being truthful. So if you can be bought, you don't have truth, you don't have integrity. So it said, he that walketh righteously and uprightly, he despiseth these type of things. This literally contrary. I just showing a difference. And that's what real righteousness is, just being good when no one else is watching, staying true in your integrity, and just, you know what I mean, being an honorable person, right? But you can finish with verse 17, because this is what the righteous is going to see. So not only will he eat and his waters will be sure, what else is he going to see?
God. Verse 17, thine eyes shall see the king in his beauty. They shall behold the land that is very far off.
You see what I'm saying? You're going to see your Lord and Savior, the king in his beauty. You know what I mean? You're going to be able to see this. You're going to see that land that's afar off, but wickedness will not be able to enter into the kingdom of God. Wickedness will not be able to dwell in the presence of the Lord. People that are not upright, that are contrary to being what righteousness is. You know what I mean? And that's why I want to got a couple other little points. I got like two more and then I'm a yield, right? Let's get Proverbs chapter 11. All right, it speaks on this whole chapter is speaking on the contrary, basically, of the righteous or the upright versus the wicked. And let's just get some of these points. Look what the benefits of being righteous is. Look what comes with a righteous soul, a righteous person, a righteous spirit.
We can start from the top. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 11 and verse 1. A false balance is abomination to Yahawah, but a just weight is his delight.
Just like he said, righteousness goes back to justice. All of these things, that's what the Most High thrives, and he loves justice. He loves righteousness because it is literally him, right? But we keep going.
God, when pride cometh, then cometh shame, but with the lowly is wisdom. The integrity of the upright shall guide them.
The truth, the true nature, that integrity. I spoke this word, is crazy, and that's what's going to guide you. You're going to follow the paths of truth. You're always going to follow that path no matter what is being offered to you. You're not going to take a bribe for nothing in the world. Nobody can buy you or for your integrity. You're going to remain upright in that standard position, and that's what the Most High is looking for. That's what he loves, right? But let's look at the contrary to the reverse of not being upright.
But the perverseness of transgressors shall destroy them.
Yeah, you are perverse. You can be bought. You're a transgressor, and you will be destroyed. And let's keep going. Let's go give a lot more ones. So just was emphasizing that.
Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death.
And then, like, this verse just speaks volumes to even the things that we were talking about. See, you're going to take riches and challenge your integrity. You can be bribed, right? But you're looking at the riches. But once the Most High come back in his judgment, which is righteousness, those riches you can't buy. You can't bribe the Lord. You've already been bribed. Now it's like, well, Lord, I got 100 million I can give you. I got a Bugatti. What can the Most High do with that? It won't do anything for you. Your riches can't save you. But your righteousness will deliver you from death because you've been upright. You followed the law, statutes, and commandments. You stayed true in nature, in essence. You know what I mean? We can keep going.
God, the righteousness of the perfect shall direct his way, but the wicked shall fall by his own wickedness.
See, and that's literally what's going to happen to everybody that doesn't remain in a righteous and upright position as a person in general. You can keep going though, brother.
God, the righteousness of the upright shall deliver them, but transgressors shall be taken in their own naughtiness. when a wicked man dieth, his expectation shall perish, and the hope of the unjust man perisheth. The righteous is delivered out of trouble, but the wicked cometh in his stead. Or instead. A hypocrite with his mouth destroyeth his neighbor, but through knowledge shall the just be delivered. When it goeth well with the righteous, the city rejoiceth, and when the wicked perish, there is shouting.
Yeah.
Says, by the blessing of the upright, the city is exalted, but it is overthrown by the mouth of the wicked.
See what I'm saying? This is a positive thing to be an upright and righteous person. You will always prevail over anything. When you face a righteous person versus a wicked person, can be faced with the same circumstances, but the righteous is going to come out of it some way, somehow. The Most High is going to make them prevail because they are, in essence, being who He is. He is righteousness. So you're showing that example of who He is by being this type of character, by showing this type of truth, by being, showing integrity, showing love, showing faithfulness. Faith is an act of righteousness. That's righteous in the eyes of God. You're believing in something, you're holding on to it. God loves these type of attributes, right? We can keep going a little bit more on here.
God. He that is void of wisdom despiseth his neighbor, but a man of understanding holdeth his peace. A talebearer revealeth secrets, but he that is of a faithful spirit concealeth the matter.
See what I'm saying? I told you, a faithful spirit. It's crazy. It keep coming up. When I say the word, I'm seeing it after that. This is a faithful spirit. Then we are told not to be a talebearer, right? They're going to reveal secrets. Technically, in essence, they are breaking the laws of God. But a faithful spirit, which I told you was all fall under that blanket of righteousness because it comes from God. Faith comes from Him because He gives us the faith we have, right? Shalom, Megan, my brother in the building. Shalom, Megan.
That's right. Shalom.
All these things, man. This is, in essence, what it is to be righteous. You have to have these things. These are the qualities of these type of people. And when you see people being redeemed or saved, when these times of tribulation start to come, they will have to fall in this category of righteous or upright and standing, right? Let's get a couple more, and I'm
Salakia, he cut out a little bit. Salakia, family.
I'll say let's get a couple more Salaki, and then I'm gonna go to my next point.
14. Where no counsel is, the people fall, but the multitude of counselors, but in the multitude of counselors, there is safety. He that is surety for a stranger shall smart for it. He that hateth suretyship is sure. A gracious woman retaineth honor, and strong men retain riches. The merciful man doeth good to his own soul, and he that is cruel troubleth his own flesh. The wicked worketh a deceitful work, but to him that soweth righteousness shall be a sure reward.
Exactly. It's going to be a sure reward, right? Let's get like 19, 20, and then just give me like verse 23, and I'm going to switch.
God. As righteousness tendeth to life, so he that pursueth evil pursueth it to his own death.
Oh my God. And this was crazy is all the wickedness is sins of is your actions is going to lead to your destruction. It's like literally reaping what you sow. So everybody's going to get what they deserve. So think about the righteousness, all the people that are being upright. That's why I said their reward is going to be sure. You're going to be like, oh, when you receive that glorious reward, it's going to be evident like, yeah, you're righteous. And when the wickedness, when they die and they receive that second death, it's going to be evident who they were. Right? We keep, dang, this is a little more. Keep going, bro.
God. It says, they that are of a froward heart are abomination to Yahawah.
Dang.
But such as are upright in their way are his delight.
See, the Most High delight in righteousness. He's delight in the upright spirit. That is a wonderful thing to have the Most High delight. And let's look at this word delight. The Most High said he's such that are upright, their ways are his delight. Now watch this. H7222. Is that what that is? H07522. So like
says pleasure, delight, favor, goodwill, acceptance of desire, pleasure, self-will.
Yeah. You are acceptable in the eyes of the Lord. He has pleasure in you and your actions. You are favored by him. He sees you as something that's desirable. He wants you. And that's what makes you being a part of his kingdom. That's wonderful to have that word, the Most High delighting in you and your actions and your spirit. Who doesn't want something like that? The creator of this whole universe has delight in little old you. Yep. That is powerful. Right? We keep going, bro. That is powerful, man.
It says verse 22. Oh, verse 21, Salakia. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered.
Say, it's going to happen. So you and your seed going to be delivered, right? And I'll just get 23 and I'm going to switch over.
Verse 23. It says, the desire of the righteous is only good, but the expectation of the wicked is wrath.
See, the desire of the righteous is only good because what he told us, he gave us his laws. And if you follow in righteousness, which is his law, he said he made it for our good. It's only good, right? And I also want to show a fact because, like he said, the faithfulness of a righteous person, you know, it was basically saying that, like, basically having faith. A person is being faithful, that's righteous in the eyes of God. I want to give an example, right? When it comes to Abraham, Genesis 15, and I'm gonna get one more after this, and I'm gonna yield Salakia because I didn't even expect to get this, but I just want to get it real quick. Read verses like 1 through 6.
Yeah, it's the book of Genesis, chapter 15 and verse 1. After these things, the word of Yahawah came unto Abram in a vision, saying, "Fear not, Abram, I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward."
Ooh, say he is that and thy exceeding great reward. That is amazing. And this is all based on the type of faith. Even when you go back to Hebrews 11, that's talking about what's faith and what was established. Like by faith, these things were given to Abraham. By faith, this was that. That whole chapter of Hebrews 11 is talking about the benefits of being faithful and having faith. Right now, let's get here.
And Abram said, "Yahawah power, what wilt thou give me, seeing I go childless, and the steward of my house is Eliezer of Damascus?" And Abram said, "Behold, to me thou hast given no seed, and lo, one born in my house is mine heir." And behold, the word of Yahawah came unto him, saying, "This shall not be thine heir, but he that shall come forth out of thine own, out of their own bowels, shall be thine heir." And he brought him forth abroad and said, "Look now toward heaven and tell the stars, if thou be able to number them." And he said unto him, "So shall thy seed be."
So right here, we understand that Abraham is going to be a father of many nations. He said, look at the stars and see if you can number them. That's what your seed is about to be. We understand this, right? Now watch this part. What did he do?
Verse 6, and he believed in Yahawah, and he counted it to him for righteousness.
All he did was believe in Yahawah when it counted to him for righteousness. We understand faith goes back to believing the evidence of things not seen. He did not have the seeds yet, or this, children or anything. He didn't have an heir yet. But the Most High said, look up at the stars, and that's going to be your seed right there. That's your children right here. You can't even count them, and that's how many children is going to come from your bowels. And he believed it, and the Most High counted it as righteousness, right? And I want to get one more thing, right? Because this is something that I actually pray on a daily, and it didn't even register to me until Shab talked about doing this lesson, right? Let's get Psalms 23.
God. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 23 and verse 1. Yahawah is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake.
See right here. Now we're going to finish this out. I just want to show that everything he's doing, if you are on the path of righteousness, if you have righteousness, it's literally because he's leading you there for his name's sake. Everything goes back to the glory of Yahawah Son YAHAWASHI. Even when it started off, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. If the Lord is leading us, think about it as a sheep and the shepherd, and you're walking with the Lord, what need do you have of anything? You don't have anything because you have everything you need. He is our life. He is leading us. So regardless, even in the sense of like a shepherd and the sheep, we understand that a sheep is going to obey anything where you lead a sheep, he's going to follow, even if it's to his death, which ultimately was Yahawah's that example. He's that lamb, and we have to be willing to accept that. If he wants us to die, it is what it is. But he is a good shepherd, and he's never going to lead us astray. He did that for the son, and it was ultimately to benefit the rest of his people, which still shows how righteous that Yahawah is. That he, you know what I mean? He did that for the rest of the sheep that was unworthy, and he killed a perfect and blameless one for the rest of the wicked sheep. You know what I mean? But he leading the people down paths of righteousness for his name's sake, not for your name's sake, for his name's sake. Right? And we can finish this out. This is something that I pray every day, and I think everybody else should. And this is a Psalm of David. This is powerful.
All right. It says, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of Yahawah forever.
See, surely goodness and mercy shall follow all of the upright people all the days of their life, and they will dwell in the house of the Lord, because why wouldn't they? They are being led down paths of righteousness for the name's sake of Yahawah Shemashayach. You can't lose. Goodness and mercy is always going to be upon you. Favor, his delight, his love, his grace. And that's a wonderful thing, man. So let us know, you know what I mean? How are you righteous according to God? Are you righteous according to God's word? Or are you thinking you're righteous in your own eyes? Can you be bought? Can your integrity be bought? Are you wise according to this world, or are you wise according to the wisdom of the Most High? And with that, I yield. Call Lord Yahawah HaMashaYach.
All right. Brother Qual.
Shalom, man. I guess I'll start off by going to Proverbs 6, or it's Proverbs 9, 10.
You said Proverbs 6 or 9?
Proverbs 9, Salakia.
Yeah. You want me to start with?
You can go to verse 10.
Yeah. All right. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 9 and verse 10. The fear of Yahawah is the beginning of wisdom.
Fear of Yahawah is the beginning of wisdom, right? Go ahead, continue.
And the knowledge of the holy is understanding.
And the knowledge of the holy is understanding, right? Who do we see in the Bible being called holy or set apart unto the Most High God, right? The Israelites. And what does it say our knowledge is before the other nations?
That
wisdom. Law, right? That wisdom, right? This is literally the wisdom. That's why when you fear the Lord, you do what? You keep the commandments. That's why I say fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
Literally.
And the knowledge of the holy is understanding, right? Now let's head towards actually let's get Micah 6 and 8.
All right. This is the book of Micah, chapter 6 and verse 8. He that sheweth thee, he have shewed thee, O man, what is good.
So he has showed thee, O man, what is good, right? Go ahead, continue.
And what doth Yahawah require of thee? But to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God, with thy God.
So before we even continue here, right? It says, and what doeth the Lord require of thee, but to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God, right? Now let's go ahead and get that in Ecclesiastes. You already know what I want. Because as I said, what doeth the Lord require of thee, but to do justly, right?
One C. Yeah. Yep. I mean 2 C's. I'm tripping.
There you go. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12 and verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man.
For this is the whole duty. This is what the Lord requires of you, right? That's why it goes on to say, but to do justice. So jump back to that Micah 6 and 8. Read that one more time, and then I'm gonna have you go somewhere else. That's all right. Relax. I'm plugging my phone and everything.
It's back again in Micah 6 and 8. It says, He have shewed thee, O man, what is good, and what doth Yahawah require of thee, but to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God.
So let's key in on this word, but to do justly, right? Now let's get Matthew 1:19.
You said 1 and 19?
Con.
God. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 1 and verse 19. Then Joseph, her husband, being a just man, not willing to make her a public example, was minded to put her away privily.
Okay, it said Joseph being a what?
Just man.
A just man. Let's go into the Greek for that word just.
Oh,
It says righteous, observing divine laws.
It says what? Righteous, right?
Mhm.
Observing divine laws, right? Go ahead, continue.
Dang, approved of or acceptable of God.
Read that in a where it says in a wise sense.
God, just in a wise sense, upright, righteous, virtuous, keeping the commands of God.
Keeping the commands of God. This is literally what makes you righteous. This is what makes you a just man. Now let's further, you know what I'm saying, put the nail down on that point. Let's get Romans 5 and 19.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 5 and verse 19. Whereas by one man's disobedience, many were made sinners. So by the obedience of one shall many be made righteous.
Exactly. So just as by one man's disobedience, many were made sinners, that's talking about Adam. So also by one man's obedience, many will be made righteous. How was this one man obedient? And how would his obedience make everyone else righteous? Let's get 2 Corinthians 5 and 21.
bring it out.
God. This is the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 5 and verse 21. We have made him to be sin for us, who knew no sin, that we might be made the righteousness of God in him.
Right. So Christ did no sin, right? As we just read in Romans, it said by one man's obedience. He was obedient because he did not sin. And through that, we are being made righteous through the belief and faith in him, right? Now, just to show you that anytime we see that righteous and keeping the law are synonymous, bro. So let's get Luke 1 and 6.
All right. This is the book of Luke, chapter 1 and verse 6. And they were both righteous before God, walking in all the commandments and ordinances of the Lord blameless.
So this is how actually read the verse before. Read verse 5.
It says verse 5. There was in the days of Herod, the king of Judea, a certain priest named Zacharias of the course of Abiah. And his wife was of the daughters of Aaron, and her name was Elizabeth. And they both were righteous before God, walking in all the commandments and ordinances of the Lord blameless.
Exactly. So them keeping the law is what made them righteous, right? Let's get Revelations 14 and 12.
God. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 14 and verse 12. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Yahawah.
Come on, man. We seeing over and over and over. We know that the saints are the righteous, right? And we see that they are keeping the commandments of God and also having that faith on Christ, right? And if we even want to get even deeper with that, we know that having faith is a commandment in itself, right? Let's get 1 John 2.
You want 3 and 4?
Yep.
This is the book of 1 John chapter 2 and verse 3. And hereby we do know that we know him, if we keep his commandments.
This is how we know, right? By keeping his commandments, right? Go ahead, continue.
God says, He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments, is a liar, and the truth is not in him.
Continue.
But whoso keepeth his word, in him verily is the love of God perfected. Hereby know we that we are in him.
Key points. We know him not only by keeping his commandments, and it says that anyone that doesn't keep his commandments and say that they know him is a liar, and the truth isn't in them, right? And it said the love of God is perfected in you when you keep his words, right? Now let's get Matthew 4:4.
Hmm? Ah, red letter. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 4 and verse 4. But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God.
Every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. This is how you become righteous, by living by the words that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. It's that simple. And we know that's the law, and we know that it's the words of Christ. It's that simple. This is how you are being righteous. And not only is this how you are being made righteous, this is how you also show that wisdom. This is how you become wise, by listening to the words that proceed out of the mouth of God. So when God tells you shouldn't eat something, it's a reason why you shouldn't eat it. And you not eating it is already you showing that wisdom. When he tell you shouldn't go out and kill your fellow Israelites and stuff like that, it's a reason why. And you not doing those things exhibits wisdom. It shows that you are righteous. Anytime you look into the scriptures and you see someone being called righteous, they were following the words of God. They wasn't not listening to him and saying sorry every single time, and they did it 100 times, like the brother Shah brought out a key point. Even just going into Saul, when he was being righteous, he got rewarded. When he turned to wickedness, he got rewarded. And with that, I yield. Relax.
You have some few scriptures.
Yeah, kind. Yeah.
All praise.
Like you said, man, we the brother's been going like in depth, showing you, you know, the benefits and the wise desirous to be wise and righteous in the eyes of God, because that's all that matters. You feel me? It's not righteousness or wisdom in terms of what the world seeks, because we know the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God, right?
That's right.
So I'm about to bring this out, because if you notice, everything ties back to the word of God, to the law of God, which he gave to us to be our wisdom and understanding to these nations. So it's always going to be, it's going to somewhat sound repetitive, but it all ties back there. So we always going to have to go back to the law. So for somebody who's coming and telling you or trying to detach you or get you away from the law, it's like you have to really look at it, because for one, they're trying to pull you away from life, pull you from away from your connection from the Most High, and pull you away from wisdom, from your understanding, right, from your light. So with these things, I'm gonna just go into a couple of points, and then I also want to go into like it's not awful or weird to pray for wisdom of the Lord, from the Lord. You feel me? Because it ultimately comes from Him anyway. So if someone can bring up this Baba Kushah, this Proverbs 10 and 8. And 9, Baba Kushah. Somebody available to read.
You said 10, 8, and 9?
Yep.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 8. The wise in heart will receive commandments, but a prating fool shall fall. Or a prating fool. So it look like. Verse 9. He that walketh uprightly walketh surely, but he that perverteth his ways shall be known.
Exactly. So if you're wise, if you're upright, you're going to be receiving the commandments, and you're going to have you're going to walk surely. You're going to have sound steps. You're not going to be shaky. You feel me? You're going to walk with the Lord. That's ultimately what it is going to be. But if you are a fool, or you perverse in your judgment, perverse in your ways, you know, you're going to be exposed. You're going to fall, right? You're going to be destroyed, right? Oh, hold on. You keep going. You can drop down to 11, Baba Kushah.
Yep. Verse 11. The mouth of a righteous man is a well of life, but violence covereth the mouth of the wicked.
Exactly. So you speak life. if you are righteous, if you walking in accordance to the Most High will, keeping these commandments, you're going to speak life. And that's where we go, and all praise, because the Most High has put that wisdom and that spirit of righteousness on us, and Lord willing, he keeps it on us. When we go out and teach our people that we have to wake up from being in this slumber that we in, keep the commandments and please our Lord, we're preaching, we're giving life to our people, right? And that's what you want to do. But violence is going to cover the mouth of the wicked. Their end is going to be violent. It's going to be death, destruction. And you don't want that, right? So I'm about to grab this too, because it also matters what company you are with, but we're going to get into that. This is, let me go back to the top. Yeah, Sirach chapter 6. And can you bring out 36 and 37, Baba Kushah?
Bring it up.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, or Sirach, chapter 6 and verse 36. And if thou seest a man of understanding, get thee betimes unto him, and let thy foot wear the steps of his door. Mm-hmm. Let thy mind be upon the ordinances of Yahawah, and meditate continually in his commandments. He shall establish thine heart, and give thee wisdom at thy own desire.
Right. You have to be meditating on the word. You got to be around the word. You got to be around men of understanding who the Most High is blessed with that wisdom. You have to be around them, because the company you keep is going to be a representation of you, right? So if you want to be righteous, you want to be filled with wisdom, you have to be around the people the Most High is blessed with that light, that wisdom, that understanding. You have to be that way, meditating on the word, and then the Most High is going to give you that wisdom, right? Mm-hmm. And that leads me to my next point. Right? You have to meditate, and you have to pray to the Most High for that wisdom. We ultimately know that us keeping the law is what grants you that wisdom, but you have to pray the Most High puts it on your spirit too, because you see, obviously, it's not a common thing in the world. It's not something to take light of. Walking in the statutes of the Most High. These are holy, right? You got to treat them as such. We can bring this out. This is Sirach 14 and 20.
And it reads, blessed is the man that doth meditate good things in wisdom, and that reasoneth of holy things by his understanding.
Exactly. Again, you got to meditate. You got to meditate on the good works and the good things of the Most High. Meditate on the word of the Lord, and that wisdom is going to be granted to you, right? And then wisdom and righteousness, they coincide, right? Because if you have the wisdom that the Most High if the Most High has granted you that wisdom, you're gonna walk righteously. You're gonna walk uprightly, justly, right? Because His Spirit is in you. You can't do anything other than that, right? I'm gonna grab two more. Let me grab this real quick. Baba Kushah, 33. You got a lot of this right here, man.
Yeah, right, man.
Yeah, a lot of wisdom.
You are a damn Sirach boy. Boy, you don't hope no Diddy parties. So no.
Oh my God.
No pun intended. Which verse you want, brother?
1 through 4, Baba Kushah.
I got you. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, or Sirach, chapter 33, and start at verse 1. There shall no evil happen unto him that feareth the Lord, but in temptation even again he will deliver him. Mm-hmm. A wise man hateth not the law, but he that is a hypocrite therein is as a ship in a storm.
Slakia, right? This is important, right? It says no evil thing shall happen to you if you fear the Lord, right? But you're going to be tempted. That's why Sirach 2 tells you, prepare yourself for temptation if you come to serve the Lord. But He's going to deliver you out of it. You got to cleave to Him, pray and ask for that endurance and that wisdom to stay with Him, right? And it says a wise man hateth not the law. You can't hate the law and then proclaim to be wise. That's why the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God, because that's all that's out here. They're telling you to be lawless. They're telling you to go to do what is contrary to God, right? But it says a hypocrite is like a ship in a storm, and that's basically saying them waves are having that ship go wherever it is. You have no control, no power, no direction, right? You can finish at verse 3.
Yeah, rocking to and fro. For real. Verse 3. A man of understanding trusteth in the law, and the law is faithful unto him as an oracle.
Exactly. So you trust in the law. If you have understanding, you understand that it's faithful. The law is surety, is true. That's why That's why Proverbs was telling you your footsteps are gonna be sure. What your ways are gonna be surety. Like you're gonna have sound footsteps and walking with the Lord. But if you're not, you're gonna be like that ship. You don't have no structure, no nothing. You're just gonna be rocking around, and then ultimately them waves gonna overtake you and destroy you. Right? Speaking metaphorically. And then I got one more just because I brought it out about praying for wisdom. Right? We got a prime and great example of this. We see Solomon, right? Solomon prayed for understanding. He prayed for wisdom, and the Most High gave it to him abundantly and exceedingly, so much so that he was more wise than anyone in the land,
Right.
right? And I just want to grab this in James real fast because he speak on praying for wisdom. If you feel like you lacking in anything, or you feel like you can increase in wisdom, pray to the Most High. But it's a certain way you have to pray, right? You have to have full trust and the surety that the Most High is dealing with you. He's hearing you, because you can't be doubtful coming before the Lord. You can grab this James 1:5
Your
through
screen ain't switch.
Slakia. James 1:5 through 7, Baba Kushah.
Con. This is James chapter 1. What?
Verse 8, Slakia.
Con. James chapter 1 and verse 5. If you need wisdom, ask our generous God, and he will give it to you. He will not rebuke you for asking. But when you ask him, be sure that your faith is in God alone. Do not waver, for a person with divided loyalty is as unsettled as a wave of the sea that is blown and tossed by the wind. Such people should not expect to receive anything from the Lord. Their loyalty is divided between God and the world, and they are unstable in everything they do.
Exactly. Like, you can't come before the Lord with a wavering heart, or doubtful. Like, man, I don't even know if he hear me. Like, we dealing with the living God. We dealing with Yahawah, right? The God of everything that you see before you. You come before him, you ask him for what you need. You ask for that wisdom, and he's gonna give you, and he's gonna abundantly give it to you, right? But you have to seek him with simplicity of heart. You have to seek him with genuine faith, like as the brother was bringing out. Right, and these are the things that you need to be focusing on if you want to be righteous, you want to be wise in the eyes of the Lord, right? Because it all comes from him. He's going to lead you on that path. So, make sure this is in your prayers. Pray to the Lord for wisdom, man. And with that,
Shalom, Ephraim. Shalom, brother Ephraim in the building. All praise to the Most High.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, King. I had a few more for real. I got a few of them, right? Because like the brothers were saying, man, obedience, you following the laws, statutes, commandments of God is ultimately going to bring you to righteousness, right? So, right, because like Brother Qual said, we can easily pull up the precept and show brothers and sisters that Deuteronomy 18:18, that's the faith, right? Us believing in Hamashayac Yahawah and doing the things that he told us to do is going to bring us that complete righteousness, right? So, can you grab grab Matthew 5 for me?
To the spirit, because I definitely was gonna rewrite that.
God,
that's crazy.
Now I want to read a few verses on this, because Christ, and this is why the Pharisees hated Christ, because Christ taught the spirit of the law, right? The Pharisees were keeping the law in totality and doing all this and that, but their spirits, their inner man was off, and this is where a part of your righteousness come from as well. You get what I'm saying? How you are spiritually with your brethren, with the people you at odds with, or anything, right? How do you deal with these people spiritually? Because we see how Christ dealt with them, right? You can start at verse 3. This is gonna be the first passage I grab, and you're gonna drop down.
God. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5 and verse 3. It says, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
Yep.
Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled.
Right. Blessed are all these people that's having these types of characteristics, right? The meek of the earth, the people that's lowly and humble and understand that everybody needs God, right? Blessed are the people that's which do hunger and thirst after righteousness. The people that want people to come back to the Lord, the people that want wickedness to stop occurring and to not indulge in these things, right? Because this is what the righteous wants. We want to see righteousness everywhere, right? Keep going.
God. It says, blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy.
Right? That's another fruit of the spirit, right? You have to be merciful to obtain mercy.
Yep.
Just like how we came to God, right? God had mercy upon us, so we have to be merciful, just like our Father in heaven, right? Christ go say that later in this chapter. Keep going.
Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God.
Right. Blessed are the pure in heart. Remember, I was referencing this earlier with like righteousness, it's integrity, it's purity, right?
Yep.
Being pure in your heart, in your mind, for they shall see God, right? And when it says see God, when you see something, you're gonna know it, right? It's like when you see the sun, right? You know the sun to be the light of the day. When you see the moon, you know the moon to be the light of the night, right? But when you see God, you should know the things that He do, right? Because He is showing Himself unto the people that seek Him, like Wisdom of Solomon said, right? Keep going.
God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God.
That's right. The peacemakers. Are you out here starting trouble, or you not trying to move on from past trespass or forgive your brother, right? If you're not trying to create peace, right? Because this is what
Mm.
the righteous is going to be doing. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God.
Mm.
This is what Christ came to do, right? So ultimately, because He goes back to that peace, Shiloh, and all of these things, right? So with that, we see that I think you can drop down to verse 30, or like, let me see real quick. Scroll down to like 25. I want to see where I want to pick up at, right? Salak.
God.
Let me see. Personal. Yeah, you can start at 21.
Yep. God. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, and verse 21. Ye have heard that was said by them of old time, thou shalt not kill, and whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment.
Mm-hmm.
But I say unto you, that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment.
Right. So if you angry at a brother without cause, then you could be in danger of judgment. Right. Keep going.
Whosoever shall say to his brother, Rakah, shall be in danger of the council.
Mm-hmm.
For whosoever shall say, Thou fool, shall be in danger of hellfire.
Right. And when it says thou fool in this text, I believe this is being mistranslated to like, I basically like when he say thou fool, I think that's like when you curse somebody.
Yeah, I
Right.
think it's like called.
Uh, right, because that's when you be danger of hellfire. If you curse one of your brothers, you feel what I'm saying? I forget what commandment it say, but say you're not supposed to curse your people.
Damn.
Foolish, impious, godless.
Mm.
Right.
Uh,
So you can keep going on that.
yep.
Right. But these are things Christ taught, and these are things that we must continuously meditate on, right? Because Christ told us that he that um hears these righteous words and doeth them, he is likened him unto a righteous or a wise man that built his house upon rock. And this is all about. Christ gave us the wisdom that we are supposed to follow, right? And this is what it is, right? Keep going.
Verse 23 says, Therefore, if thou bring thy gift to the altar, and there rememberest that thy brother have aught against thee, leave there thy gift before the altar, and go thy way. First be reconciled to thy brother, and then come and offer thy gift.
Keep going.
Agree with thine adversary quickly, whilst thou art in the way with him.
Yep, even one of these things, right? Because people will come up against the adversary and want to buck up against them. But Christ is telling this is wisdom from the Most High God, right? Because everything the Most High God told Christ to say, Christ is saying it, and He's
Yeah.
giving it to us, right? And this is
Right.
why I tell you, agree with our adversary quick. This is wisdom that we have to take hold on and put it within our hearts, right? Because keep going. Because what He say?
It says, Lest at any time the adversary deliver thee up to the judge,
Mm-hmm.
and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison.
That right, and that's the last thing brothers will want. We don't want to be in no damn prison surrounded by no damn men, right? So we should agree with our adversary quickly, right?
God, I'm about to, yeah, this is NLT. Because it said different. Just this next part. Oof. It says, verse 26. And if that happens, you surely won't be free again until you have paid the last penny.
Right. You know that probation, you gotta pay people and stuff just to get our probation and just to do a lot of stuff, man. You gotta come out of money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You can keep going. We go probably get really the rest of this whole chapter.
Yeah. Verse 27. You have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not commit adultery.
Mm-hmm.
But I say unto you, that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her, have committed adultery with her already in his heart.
Right. Even right there. Right. It's the spirit of the things. If you just looking at women just to want to sleep with them, you already committed adultery in your heart because it's not of the spirit, it's of the flesh. And this is what Christ is telling us. These are fleshly desires that's getting in the way of the spirit. And we have to be mindful of our spirit and not our flesh on a day-to-day basis. It's the spirit versus the flesh. And we have to be mindful of these things, right? You can get them last two. You get them last two.
Time. And if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that the whole body should be cast into hellfire, into hell.
God, that's right. Because you don't want all because you can't control your flesh. You don't want your whole flesh to get thrown away, so you got to cast something off, right? Or in the spiritual lands, you got to be circumspect of the things that's tempting you of these things and not to indulge in it, right? On the spiritual level. We could finish verse 30. I'm gonna grab another chapter after this. I ain't gonna read all of this.
Time.
I'm gonna grab. Yeah, you can go ahead.
It says, and if thy right hand offend thee, cut it off and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that the whole body should be cast into hell.
Mm-hmm. You can drop down to verse 45.
God.
Understood.
Verse 45. That ye may be the children of your Father which is in heaven.
So you start at 43?
Yeah. God.
A lot.
It says, ye have heard that it has been said, thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thine enemy. But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them that despitefully use you and persecute you.
That's right. This is what Christ did. When he was on that cross, what did he do? He said, Lord, please forgive them, for they know not what they do. This is Christ showing us the example of what we must follow, because everything Christ said, he did. And we must attend to these same attributes to be like unto Christ. Right? Keep going.
God says, for he maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust.
Lucky, did you read the first part? I ain't heard if you did.
Yeah. Oh, Salakia, no, I didn't. I picked up verse 45, Salakia, fam. That ye may be the children of your Father which is in heaven.
Right. That you may be children of your Father which is in heaven. He's calling you to be children of God, children of Yahawah, once you apply these things to your life. By loving those that persecute you and despitefully use you, right? And do all and curse you. You gotta pray for these people, man. Love your enemies. Because this is what Christ did. And we must be like Christ, because this is our righteousness, the word of God. Right? Keep going.
For he maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good. Sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust.
Right. That righteousness versus wickedness. Christ, the Most High God blesses both of them with the sun and the rain. Right? Keep going.
God says, for if you love them which love you, what reward have ye? Do not even the publicans the same?
That's right. If you only loving people as the publicans love people, what difference are you from the people that you speak about, or the people that people trying to talk down upon? There's no difference between you and the publicans if you're acting like the publicans. All right, keep going.
And if ye salute your brethren only, But do ye more than others? Do not even the publicans so?
Right? Publicans do that too. If publicans say, oh, I'm only messing with people who mess with me, and you saying the same thing the publicans saying, there's no difference, right? This is where the sheep and the goats come in at. Because the sheep and the goats look alike, but spiritually they're different, right?
Mhm.
And this is, keep going, you can finish that verse 48.
Yeah. Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect.
That's right. And Christ is telling us to be like our Father. The Most High God doesn't just send the sun up just for the righteous people only, or the rain, right? Because everybody looks for these things. We need the rain and the sun, right? But He sent it up on both the unjust and the just, the evil and the good. And this is why Christ is telling us to love people, right, regardless of what they do to us, because this is how the Most High God works. This is why He tells us to be perfect, even as your Father in heaven is perfect, right? Y'all got like any like small points? Because I really got like a few more little chapters I want to dive off into. I'm gonna try and be quick with it though, if y'all don't mind.
I mean, I got
Um,
mine's kind of lined up together. I ain't gonna lie. I need them all together for real. So you
Kind.
can go ahead.
Yeah, all right, but I'm gonna try and really finish this real quick. Grab Matthew 7 real quick, Malak. Right, because all mine most likely gonna be coming from the words of Hamashiach Yahawah. I just want to really touch on some points. Um, you can grab 7 and 15.
God. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 7, and verse 15. Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing,
Mm.
but inwardly they are ravening wolves.
Right there. They come in sheep's clothing, right? Their outward appearance seem like they could be a righteous Hebrew Israelite, or they could be, or like the pastors, right? All of these people look good to the outside, but inwardly they are ravening wolves, right? Their spirit is off, and this is what Christ, and this is what I mentioned earlier. Christ spoke about the spirit, right? I believe in Matthew chapter 23, he even mentioned them always trying to clean the outside of the cup, but what about the inside, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's an important part of our righteousness that a lot of people don't talk about. And this is why we go through trials and tribulations, so we can afflict our spirit to become better. That's that goal, right? Um, keep going.
You shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistles? Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a
Mm-hmm.
corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit.
That's right.
A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit.
Mm. Right. So
Every
everybody that's out here producing good fruit, but good trees can only produce good fruit, and a corrupt tree can only produce corrupt fruit. And that's going to continuously bear either good fruit or corrupt fruit. Right. Keep going.
every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire.
Right. Every corrupt tree has to get gone. And this is what a lot of um a lot of things Christ speak about. Like I was saying, the sheep and the goats, the wheat and the tares, all of these things is being gathered together and being separated from the righteous from the wicked. Right? And this is what this is all about. This is why I tell you, right? Keep going. Finish that verse 20.
God. Wherefore, by their fruits ye shall know them.
That's right. And this is how we're going to be able to identify who is who by what
Mm-hmm.
they're doing. If people are not believing and knowing Christ's words and the things that he said, Matthew 5 and 17, he not coming to destroy the law, but you got to keep the commandments of God. If you love me, keep my commandments. Or people are not aligning themselves with these words, then they cannot be wise men. They cannot have
Mm-hmm.
any righteousness. They cannot have any wisdom, because these are the things that Christ told us, right? Do the things that I say, right? I believe that's Luke 6 and 46. If you say, why do you call me Lord, Lord, if you do not the things I say? Christ is not your Lord if you don't hearken into his words and you put these things within your heart, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can grab Matthew 15 real quick. 15 and I believe like 20 uh no 17 or 18, my bad. Yep, 18.
So Matthew 15 and 18 or Matthew 18?
Matthew 15 and 18.
God. Just the
You could,
book of Matthew,
yeah,
chapter
you could just get
15,
18 or 19.
God, verse 18. But those things which proceedeth out of the mouth come forth from the heart, and they defile the man.
Right. So this is talking about when people thought even unclean hands would defile you, right? But Christ is telling them no. But then things that proceeded out of the mouth come forth from the heart, and they defile the man. And this is how we know people by their fruits, because the things you say or the things that you think are the things that's going to be acted out in your flesh, in your actions is what your fruit is. The things that you bear, the things that you are out here planting. If you're sowing wickedness or unrighteousness or evil thoughts in your mind, and these things are being planted within you, eventually they're going to be shown and they're going to come out. You're going to be exposed, right? Keep going.
God. For out of the heart proceedeth or proceed evil thoughts.
Right, evil
Murder.
thoughts. It's like, yeah, evil thoughts, right? Like, yeah, when this nigga come up here, I'm gonna rob him. I mean, I'm gonna steal his car, or
Yeah.
you know, when I get my hands on that girl, I'm gonna drop a damn Molly in her cup. You feel what I'm saying? Just evil, all type of evil thoughts that people can be meditating on, or all type of things that's impure in God's eyes, right? If it's not according to the words of Yahawah or the law, then it's unrighteousness, and God is gonna be ashamed of you and your actions, right?
Hmm.
This is why we have to purify our mind. Romans 12 tells us this, right? The renewing of your mind, because this world has raised us up in wickedness, and this is why once you come back to God, you have to repent and come back to him with a clean heart, right? I believe that's what Psalms 51, a contrite spirit is what the Lord cannot despise, and this is why it's always a spiritual thing, right? Keep going.
God. It says, for out of the heart proceed evil thoughts, murders,
Mm-hmm.
adulteries, fornications, thefts, false witness, blasphemies.
Right, out of your thoughts, all of these evil things and things, evil thoughts come from your heart, which is your mind. People are already thinking about these things before it happened, because um this is how sin is brought forth. Once things are planted into your mind and you meditate on it, this is why I'm pretty sure everybody have evil thoughts, but you have to cast these evil thoughts away from you and renew your mind by reading, by praying and fasting, and acknowledging the Most High God. Right from there, you can get. I think I got a few more, or like really two more. Grab Matthew 21. Right, and I just want to give some few examples of just uh um how certain things or spirits, right? Matthew 21 and 28, right? How certain things as spirits or the things you say or your actions can change, man. Let's go really break it down. You can grab 28 down to 32. You can grab that whole passage right there.
God. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 21 and verse 28. But what think ye? A certain man had two sons. He came to the first and said, Son, go work today in my vineyard. He answered and said, I will not. But afterward he repented and went.
Right. So his initial reaction was no to his father. Right. He said, I will not. But afterward he repented. He prayed unto God. He repented and he went. Right. Keep going.
God. Verse 30. And he came to the second and said likewise. And he answered and said, I go, sir, and went not.
Mm-hmm.
Whether of them twain did the will of his father?
Right. Which one? So which one was obedient to his father's command? It was the first one. The first one, even though he said he will not do it, he repented and he still did it. Right. And that's the spirit, because his initial reaction was to say no, but his spirit compelled him to do the right thing, which was obey your father. And this is the commandment, right? Exodus 20. But the other one, he was being deceptive. He told him, yeah, I'm gonna do it, but he didn't end up doing it. And that's unrighteousness, that's wickedness, right?
God.
And that thought he had was just it programmed him to not obey his father, right? Keep going.
God. They say unto him, the first, Yahawah saith unto them, Verily I say unto you, that the publicans and the harlots go into the kingdom of God before you.
Mm-hmm.
John came unto you in the way of righteousness, and you believed him not. But the publicans and the harlots believed him. And ye, when ye had seen it, repented not afterward, that ye might believe him.
Right. So the people that say they believe on Christ, right, or say they do this and do that, or I'll go to church every Sunday, this, that, and the third, or even the people that's probably in the truth, saying they believe on Christ, but outwardly, they say things right on the highways and byways behind closed doors. They are wicked. They're doing all type of things, and this is why Christ said you're gonna know them by their fruits, because ultimately, at one at Judgment Day, everybody's fruits is going to get put out on the table, and you're going to see who is who, right? Then I got two more after this. Grab Matthew 18 real quick. I just want to touch on a few points of this, right? Because this is another fruit of the spirit that we have to have, man. Humility, right? Because this is what Christ was. Christ was humble. Christ was a sheep, right? And it, bring me back to that point. I believe Kanye was saying, because he's coming for the sheep, right? And sheep are humble animals, right? And it's spiritual that Christ or the Most High God called them that sheep, right? And he called his people sheep because sheep are humble. They're going to listen to their master, right? You can start from the top. You can grab that first passage down to 4.
God.
Then we go jump down.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 18 and verse 1. At the same time came the disciples unto Yahawah, saying, Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven?
Mm-hmm.
And Yahawah called a little child unto him and set him in the midst of them. And said, Verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Right there. This is a part of humility. Everybody that wants the kingdom of heaven, we have to be as humble as a little child. Right? Keep going.
Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Whoso shall receive one such little child in my name, receiveth me.
That's right. Right. So even Christ is comparing himself to a little child. And this is what humility is about, because this is how Christ came. Christ came as that humble sheep, but we know when he returned, he coming as that lion. Right. But while we down here in this world, we must be like Hamashiach Yahawah. Right. And grab Luke 18. Right. Right. And I just want to give, this is gonna be my last one. You can start at top, right? Because this is just let's go break it down. Christ go break it down. Right.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 18 and verse 1. He spake a parable unto them to this end, that men ought always to pray and not to faint, saying, There was in a city a judge.
Get in the NLT for me and break it down a little bit better.
Verse 2 again, in NLT. There was a judge in a certain city, he said, who neither feared God nor cared about people. A widow of that city came to him repeatedly, saying, Give me justice in this dispute with my enemy.
Right. So this woman, she is repeatedly saying to this judge, give her justice. Right. Keep going.
The judge ignored her for a while. But finally, he said to himself, I don't fear God or care about people. But this woman is driving me crazy. I'm going to see that she gets justice, because she is wearing me out with her constant request. Then the Lord said, Learn a lesson from this unjust judge. Even he rendered a just decision in the end. So don't you think God will surely give justice to his chosen people who cry out to him day and night? Will he keep putting them off? I tell you, he will grant justice to them quickly. But when the Son of Man returns, how many will he find on earth who have faith?
Right. And that part is about Always praying, like Christ said, always pray and faint not. Always throw your prayers up, regardless of what you're going through, and trust in the Lord, right? Because this is what the unjust did. The unjust judge blessed somebody righteously, even though he was unjust. So how much more our Father is just? He is righteous, right? This is where righteousness stems from. This is why we have to beat down the doors of our God and always throw up prayers, right? We can keep going all the way down to verse 14.
God. Verse 9. Then Yahawashi told this story to some who had great confidence in their own righteousness and scorned everyone else. 2 men went to the temple to pray. One was a Pharisee and the other was a despised tax collector. The Pharisee stood by himself and prayed this prayer: I thank you, God, that I am not a sinner like everyone else. For I don't cheat, I don't sin, I don't commit adultery. I am certainly not like that tax collector. I fast twice a week, and I give you a tenth of my income. But the tax collector stood at a distance and dared not even to lift his eyes to heaven as he prayed. Instead, he beat his chest in sorrow, saying, O God, be merciful to me, for I am a sinner. I tell you, the sinner, not the Pharisee, returned home justified before God. For those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted.
Right. And this is a powerful passage of us understanding, even in your prayers, you have to be humble before God, right? So how much more in your actions, in your daily life, right? Christ himself said out of his own mouth that the sinner was just before the Pharisee, but the Pharisee was righteous. But what made the Pharisee wicked is by how he boasts in his works, right? And the sinner is made righteous by how humble he is in praying to God. He didn't even look unto heaven when he praying, right? And he begging for mercy to God. And this is just showing you the spirit behind how we should be, right? We have to be humble before in the sight of God, man. Regardless of what you're doing, we have to be humble because we all understand that this is the Most High's will, right? And this passage right here clearly shows that a Pharisee, he fasts twice a week. He gives his 10% from his income, right? He don't commit adultery. He keeping the laws of God, but that still didn't justify him before the Most High God because he wasn't humble. And this is what Christ is telling us in this passage. This is the spirit that Christ is teaching, and this is what ultimately culminates your righteous acts from within, right? If you are inwardly righteous, you're going to be outwardly righteous, and this is what this is about, man. With that, I yield, man. All praise to the Most High God.
Fire.
No, definitely fire, man. It's definitely a lot of stuff that you said. I definitely want to touch on. I definitely loaded my clip back up. You said, man, it's just a lot of stuff that was spoken of, and like ultimately, even when you was talking about with the sons, like how the one, his first response was to say no, he repented, got to it, but then you was like the other one, he basically said he straight up lied. He like sin on top of saying he lied and then disobeyed the father. Still, you know what I mean? So, but and then you said like ultimately it was put in his spirit to just be wicked, even the same way like with the Pharisees or whatever, because okay, yeah, he did good works, but you trying to boast in your works, not understanding that if we do have good works, it's because the Most High put it upon us. That's literally what grace is. That's what the definition of grace is. So we've discovered that's right. What it is, right? So everything is the Lord's will, right? So even now I'm gonna tie that in with like even what Kanye brought out, like with wisdom of Solomon, you know, what Solomon prayed for and stuff. We have to pray that the Most High put certain spirits upon us that we remain in his good standing and his good graces and under his good and perfect will in righteousness, right? Because ultimately everything is up to him. So if we have it from our scope of things to, you know, to pray for intangible things and spiritual things, you know what I mean? That says stuff about our spirit and even what we asking for and asking in humility, because at the end of the day, we can have all the good works, you can be fasting all this, but if you're not in the spirit of humility, if you're not in the spirit of, you know, gratitude, if you're not just in all these fruits of the spirit and patience, humility, faith, and all these other things that the Most High puts upon us, you're not going to make it anyway. You know what I mean? And right. It just is what it is. So I just want to get a couple little points. I'm going to start here and I'm going to lead to tie all this in together, right? So I just want to start here with Psalms 37. Right. Pray that we can do things. Start off with let's get verse 4, but I just pray like we want the Most High to delight in us, which is through righteousness. We have to do things, we have to delight in the Lord ourselves and what's pleasing to him, hand in hand. But ultimately it's him. So we have to pray that we do the things that delight in the Lord. Pray that we remain in his righteousness. Pray that we remain humble. Pray that he bestow his wisdom upon us. From our scope, that's all we really can do. And Lord willing, he has it upon his spirit to make us vessels fitted for honor and righteousness and not destruction, right?
Right.
Let's just get verses 4 through 6. And I'm gonna have you drop down.
Yeah.
Bring it out.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 37 and verse 4. Delight thyself also in Yahawah. He shall give thee the desires of thine heart. Commit thy way unto Yahawah. Trust also in him. He shall bring it to pass. He shall bring forth thy righteousness as the light, and thy judgment as the noonday.
Yep, he shall bring forth thy righteousness as the light, and thy judgment as the noonday. Commit your ways unto him, trust in him. He's going to bring it to pass. If you know everything, it said what you should do, and then what the Lord's going to do. Now let's drop down to verse 18 and like 19.
Verse 18. Yahawah knoweth the days of the upright, and the inheritance shall be forever.
Right. Everlasting life is going to come for the upright. They're doing everything they're supposed to do, and we understand that righteousness or being upright comes from the Lord, right? Now you can finish this out. Ready to 20.
They shall not be ashamed in the evil time, and in the days of famine they shall be satisfied.
Exactly.
But the wicked shall perish, and the enemies of Yahawah shall be as the fat of lambs. They shall consume, into smoke shall they consume away.
Yeah. So as he said, the righteous, the upright are always going to be fulfilled. Their inheritance is forever, but the wicked is going to be cut off. And it's just they are really made to be this way. This are who they are. So think about what type of prayer are they even praying? And if they were to make prayers, what would they be praying for? They're probably praying for, wickedness or thinking of wicked thoughts. All this because that's internally who they are. And you're going to know a tree by their fruits. You're going to know it. Their thoughts are going to produce wicked works, so on and so forth, right? Now, I just want to even prove this, right? Just get a little point. Let's go to Job chapter 1. And look what the Most High says about Job. I'm sure most people are familiar with Job, but I just want to start. Just get 1 and 1 real quick.
This is the book of Job, chapter 1 and verse 1. There was a man in the land of Uz, whose name was Job. And that man was perfect and upright, and one that feared God and eschewed evil.
Right. That man was perfect and upright. Let's just see upright real quick. I'm sure it's going to go back to basically the same thing, but that means it goes back to being righteous, right? I believe it's going to be what, Yashar or something like that. Pick it real.
Yashar.
Yeah, that's Yashar. That's where he got Yashar from. Same thing. Straight, upright, correct, right, straight, level, fitting, proper, uprightness, righteous. It's the same thing, right? So anytime you see that, it's being upright, right? Now let's just go back to Job chapter 2. Just to show this. Think about this. The Most High said this man was this, right? Like he said that out gates in chapter 1. A bunch of stuff happened, but then watch this part.
You want me to start from the top?
Bring it out.
The book of Job chapter 2 and verse 1. Again, there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before Yahawah, and Satan came also among them to present himself before Yahawah. And Yahawah said unto Satan, from whence thou comest? Oh, from whence comest thou? And Satan answered Yahawah and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And Yahawah said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feareth God and escheweth evil? And still he holdeth fast his integrity, although thou movest me against him to destroy him without cause.
So I just want to show this. The Most High was able to do this and say this to him. He kept considering him a perfect and upright man, one that held on to his integrity. Why is Yahawah saying this? Because he know he made him this way. And he's like Satan in this moment, you know what I mean? There's nothing he can do to come against him, to make him turn away from him, because the Most High made Job this perfect and upright man. That's why he's telling you, there is nobody in the earth like him. I know what I put inside of this man. You can do all these things to him, hurt him, do all this, just do not take his life. He made him this way. So that's why I'm just showing that spiritually, if you are being a certain way, if you're praying a certain way, you're going to show this is because the Most High put this inside of you, right? It is what it is, upright. So pray to be upright. Pray that the Most High places a righteous spirit upon you to have blind obedience into every single thing that he commands you, no matter what it is, right? Now I want to continue to go on right here. I'm going to continue to tie certain things in, because this is what you want. And I'm just showing ultimately this is the hand of God, and not only being upright, like far as the people that's listening and hearing, but the people that's out here reaching and doing. Because Shad even mentioned how Christ was talking about these pastors and these leaders and all this other stuff, and like how he was rebuking them. They weren't doing what they're supposed to do as leaders and as people that you're supposed to be in a righteous position and the knowing and have the wisdom. Why are you not sharing it and telling people how to get to God, to seek his righteousness? Right. But I want to get this again, the gospel. Just let me get Isaiah chapter 61, just to prove this point that everything this is the Lord's doing, right? Of everything. And this is what he's coming for. He's looking for the meek, the humble, all these things. They all tie in. There's a certain spirit, the spirits that's going to be upon people that the Lord is looking for, that you're going to see, right? I just need verses 1 through 3.
God. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 61, and verse 1. The spirit of Yahawah power is upon me, because Yahawah have anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek.
See, look, he was anointed to do this. I ain't even really pieced this together. Now look at this. This is Isaiah. The spirit of the Lord came upon him again, showing. So is this Isaiah doing it? I mean, yes, it's Isaiah doing it, but the Holy Spirit came upon him to preach these good tidings until meek or humble people. Right? Now watch this.
Fine. He have sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound. To proclaim the acceptable year of Yahawah and the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all that mourn. To appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called trees of righteousness.
They're going to be called what?
Trees of righteousness.
What else?
The planting of Yahawah, that he might be glorified.
See, the Most High is the one that's doing the planting of those trees of righteousness, so that he can be glorified. Like I said, for his name's sake earlier. So right here, the Most High is doing the planting of these trees of righteousness. So in order for you to become a tree, you have to have those seeds planted inside of you, and you bring down in that soil so you can turn into a tree. You have to be that seed already. Honestly, you have to be that seed with those spiritual qualities upon you. Right? And everything is his doing. Right now, I'm going to go back. Let's get Isaiah 54, verse 17, straight to the point. Because everything is of Yahawah. The righteousness, the wisdom, the knowledge of understanding is all from him. Without him, we can't be these things. We don't have him in his life. We don't have him in our life. We don't have his wisdom, knowledge, understanding. We don't have his spirit upon us. We can't do these qualities. Go roll straight down to 17.
Time. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 54, and verse 17. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment, thou shalt condemn.
What else?
This is the heritage of the servants of Yahawah. And their righteousness is of me, saith Yahawah.
No, it's of themselves, brother.
It's of the Lord, of me, saith Yahawah.
To see the righteousness that anyone is going to have is of Yahawah, thus saith Yahawah. It comes from him, right? So it leads me to these next points, right? Everything that you have, if you are righteous, is because of him. It's going to be from him. And it literally comes from him. He tells you how to do it, and then he puts it upon your spirit to follow through with what he told you to do. And it made me think of that one. If we watched Genesis, it just was like certain things with God. So I watched a video with Deacon, and they came up, they showed this definition called divine accommodation. Because it's like the Most High gives us stuff and he tells us to follow, but it's it's a way that we can understand him. But ultimately, if you're told to follow him, you're going to follow him. And if he puts it upon your spirit, and if you don't follow him, it's because he didn't put it upon your spirit to do it. But he speaks to us with language so we can understand. Like, I lay before you life and death, blessing and cursing, choose life. Really, you can't even choose life. If it's for you, it's because he gave it to you, because his righteousness is of him, right? But I'm going to continue to show these things, right? The type of things that people would be doing, that he bestowed righteousness upon them. And I'm going to go on and show the contrast between even with shepherds and people that's hearing, right? The people that's hearing and doing, and the people that's leading and speaking, the people that's out in the streets, you have obligations as well. And the people that's listening, because they're not people that's listening is going to be saved, but the people that are doing what they're supposed to do, getting those righteous instructions, being prophets of the Lord, they have a reward as well, just as the people that's listening, right? But let's get up Ezekiel chapter 3.
All right.
Verse 17, you know what I want. This is a camp thing, but this just shows what righteous men will be doing, the upright will be doing as prophets and as watchmen, and vice versa.
Right. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3 and verse 17. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me.
This is a commandment, brother. He's telling them to do something. Do it now. What is the purpose of this? Let's bring it out. Let's break yourself down.
When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand.
You see what I'm saying? So you are accountable for people because you are in the know. You are a leadership. You are a watchman. So when we come out here and we trying to tell our people, we go to the streets, we come to these internet highways, we are trying to rinse our hands of blood of people that might think, or might try to say that they didn't know. They don't have an excuse because we're out here everywhere. We're coming where you are. We're coming to you at your homes. We're telling you to subscribe, to reach out. We're trying to tell you how to seek the righteousness of Yahawah, how to be right in his eyes. And we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, trying to be righteous at the same time while telling you to do so. Now keep going.
Yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul.
See, and it's just making the Most High justify in everything that he does, right? And we still covering ourselves because he put it upon our spirit to do so, to come out and compel us to go to the highways and tell people. Whether you listen or not is not of us. We're just getting the message out here. It's going to be of the Most High whether you turn from your wickedness or not. And ultimately, if you die, we're in the clear because you've been warned. Now watch this part.
Again, when a righteous man doth turn from his righteousness and commit iniquity, and I lay a stumbling block before him, he shall die. Because thou hast not given him warning, he shall die in his sin, and his righteousness, which he have done, shall not be remembered, but his blood will I require at thine hand.
And it's just showing you the righteous mean he was doing the right things until he didn't. Like, you know what I mean? He could have been a righteous person in general, but then he might not been aware of everything it took to basically remain there, because we have to meditate on these scriptures day and night. We have to pray daily that we remain in his Holy Spirit and in his good graces. Like I said, because everybody's susceptible to sin. You may fall somewhere, but the righteous know how to not stay there. We know how to get up, repent, and continue to walk down that righteous path. But a person without a watchman, without a leader, they don't know to do so. So we have to tell people that we feel may be righteous. We have to tell everyone, right? But he wasn't warned. So this is the thing. And now blood will still be in your hands, right? But this is just, that would be technically an unrighteous watchman in that sense, because he didn't tell everybody. We got to tell everybody if you say you're a watchman of the Lord, right? You can finish this out with verse 21.
Nevertheless, if thou warn the righteous man that the righteous sin not, he doth not sin, he shall surely live, because he is warned. Also, thou hast delivered thy soul.
You see what I'm saying? So now you got two birds with one stone. You did what you're supposed to do. A righteous person here, because the Most High had it in his spirit to be upright, and he stayed on the righteous path. And look at this, what Ephraim put, John 6:44. No man can come to me except the Father which have sent me draw him, and I will raise him up at the last day. Everything is the will of the Lord. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it, right? But I'm just showing the contrast, right? So with that one, Ezekiel, he was showing a righteous spirit, righteous watchmen doing what they're supposed to do versus being lackluster, and they're not, right? And I want to get this next one. Let's go to Jeremiah 23, because even Shaul spoke on this. Now let's look at the contrary. Look what was being said to these people that were watchmen or leaders or pastors, whatever you want to call them, but they're not doing their part, telling people they're actually running people off, right? Let's get this.
God. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23 and verse 1. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pastor, saith Yahawah. Therefore, thus saith Yahawah, power of Israel, against the pastors that feed my people. Ye have scattered my flock and driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doings.
You see what I'm saying? That's that blood on their hands still. They didn't go out here. They didn't go and reach people. A pastor would technically be a watchman, right? In today's society, you think you go to church like, pastor, this is a man of God, right? But they're out here scattering people. People are running away from the churches now because they aren't doing nothing but taking your money and not even feeding you spiritually. Right? So he said, whoa, destruction to these people. They are not good watchmen. Blood is on their hands. They are filled with blood. And he said he's going to visit them for the evil of their doings, right? Let's keep going. Let's go to about verse 6 or 7, about 6.
Time. I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all countries whither I have driven them, and will bring them again to their folds, and they shall be fruitful and increase. And I will set up shepherds over them, which shall feed them, and they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed, neither shall they be lacking, saith Yahawah.
See, right here. So he's setting up good shepherds that's going to feed them. That's why we said when we do this, anybody that goes out to the streets and teach, no matter what camp you are, if you are here trying to feed the sheep and really wake up the lost sheep of the house of Israel, this is an honor and a privilege to do so. That our people and our nation will not be lacking, right? This is an honor and a privilege. But let's keep going.
God, behold, the day is come, saith Yahawah, that will raise unto David a righteous branch, and a king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth.
Yep, that righteous branch, which you know, righteousness goes back to justice, and we understand who is this righteous branch. This is Yahawah being prophesied about in the Old Testament, so-called, right? You can finish with verse 6.
In his days, Judah shall be saved, and Israel shall dwell safely. And this is his name, whereby he shall be called the Lord our righteousness.
The Lord our righteousness. He is the reason why we can even be in the presence of the Lord, Yahawah HaMashaYACH. He is the truth, because righteousness goes back to that. The word of God, which is speaking in truth and being in integrity, which is the whole example of who Yahawah is. He died for everybody. His word came out so that you can be righteous, that you can receive his righteousness and apply it to your life, leading people to righteousness, which leads me to my next point. I only got another point after I get to this point. And that's why even the watchman is a great responsibility and it's a great honor. But if you don't do everything that you're supposed to do, it's going to be, you're going to be visited for the evil of your doings, because you're in the know, but you're not applying it and trying to show people these things, right? Now let's go to Daniel chapter 12 from the top. Let's look what it says about this. End time prophecy. There's going to be prophets at the end, and they're going to be doing something.
What you want
Start from the top.
God. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 12 and verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book.
So like you see, so it said at that time thy people shall be delivered. He didn't say might, they shall be. So you have to believe that. That will show your righteousness. Faith is a part of righteousness, right? Now let's keep going.
And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt.
Right. Now let's get this next one. This is my point right here. This where my bread and butter at right here.
Yep. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament. And they that turn many to righteousness.
Hold on, turn many to what?
to righteousness
Okay.
shall Slakia, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever.
See, these are the people who's going to be shining. And it's crazy that we mentioned both in this title. Are you righteous, last wise, according to the words of God? But look who the people that's going to shine. The ones that shall be wise and that turn many to righteousness. How do we turn many to righteousness? By seeking the Most High God, by doing what's pleasing to Him, by keeping His laws, statutes, and commandments. These are the people that's doing these things, that's seeking it and applying it and turning people to righteousness, was meaning making sure that people apply it too, whether they be teachers or prophets or not. But if they're knowing how to be righteous in the eyes of God and you're teaching people how to do that, you are going to shine bright in the firmament of heaven, right? Literally, you can finish with verse 4.
God. Verse 4. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased.
Knowledge shall be increased. We have this knowledge and this wisdom and understanding. All praise to the Most High that He's bestowed it upon us, and Lord willing, that He keeps His spirit of righteousness upon us, and that we endure until the end and receive His salvation. Because nobody is saved until we get all the way through until the end, right? And I'm gonna end with this one. Let's just get Matthew chapter 6, right? So it says, many that lead many to righteousness, right? But look what He said. Never even thought about this, like, until we just think about righteousness and what it is, right? Let's just get Matthew chapter 6 and verse 33. Above all else, we want everything that we want. Like you said, we understand what we need to do. Just like with Solomon. Solomon prayed for wisdom and everything was applied to him. It made me think of this. So look at this. Let's just get straight to the point. I'm going to yield with this.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 6 and verse 33. But seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you.
See what I'm saying? This is what we're trying to tell people to do as watchmen for the Lord, as we trying to get His righteousness ourselves, and we're trying to teach people how to receive that. We want to shine bright as those people that was mentioned in Daniel, as those spirits is going to shine with much wisdom, with much righteousness. And we understand that once we do these things and seek the Most High and His righteousness, and everyone that does this, everything will be added unto them. We don't have to worry about a damn thing, because we're going to have everything, because we're doing what's pleasing to the Lord. This is what the Lord delights in. People that seeking Him and His righteousness. And you can end it with 34, and I'll yield.
Take therefore no thought for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And look, this go perfect with it too. Ephraim brought out that Matthew chapter 5 was 18 and 19. Whosoever therefore shall break one of the least commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. This is literally what they're supposed to be doing. This is those people that you see in Daniel. These are the people, the watchmen that he set up, that's told to do these things. There is a great reward with great, what is it in Spider-Man?
Oh,
with great power comes great responsibility. Yep. And it's going to be a great reward at the end of all of that, man. So, and I brought that Deuteronomy 6 out earlier. All praise to the Most High. So this is what they're going to be doing. So pray that the Most High has planted seeds of righteousness inside of you. You know what I mean? According to His righteousness. And because that's all that it is. It comes from Him. You aren't righteous unless He dwells inside of you, unless He's given it to you. And the one way you can do it is by keeping His law, statutes, and commandments, because that is what makes us righteous. Even though we brought it out at Deuteronomy 6:25. It shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments, His law, statutes, commandments, everything that He says. If we observe His word, stay true to it, show our integrity, never waver, never doubt, have that faith, and believe that everything He said is going to come to pass, and our reward will be great with us. And with that, I yield. Call Allah Yahawah Hamashayach.
That's right. All right. I just have one more precept, just going with that last part, because praying for wisdom and everything like that, it comes from the Most High. We're gonna go with what Solomon said, man, the wisest man to walk the earth, right? This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7 and verse 15. God have granted me to speak as I would, and to conceive as it is meet for the things that are given me, because it is he that leadeth unto wisdom and directeth the wise. So everything is according to the will of the Most High, man. So that's why you got to pray continually that you are a spirit that he is destined to be, full of wisdom, to have that spirit of wisdom, to be wise, to shine as the, the stars of the firmament, to lead many to righteousness. Like that's ultimately everything is governed by his will. So it's not nothing of yourself or anything of that matter. You got to be humble before the Lord, come to him with a pure, contrite, broken spirit, and have faith. So all praise to the Most High, man.
That's right, man.
That's right.
Woo, we've been on here a good 2 hours, almost 10 minutes, man. All praise to the Most High. Shalom to everybody that's in here. If you haven't already, send us up some lights. Go ahead. Make sure you got that bell. If you subscribe, make sure that bell is notified, man, so you won't miss anything. We got new camp video up right now. Go ahead, check us out. Go send some comments on there. Go ahead, like it up. Let us know what you think, man. Come holler at us, man. All praise to the Most High. I pray this lesson was edifying, straight to the point. Pray you learned something. Pray you took some notes. Pray it was encouraging to you. You know what I mean? I pray all these things will be upon you. I pray that you got something in your spirit, receive something, that you learned something, or that just something that you can meditate on and hold on to, man. All praises to the Most High God.
All praise to the Most High. Lord willing, we're edified, man. As much as we've been bringing this out for, the sheep and, the ones the Most High directed, it's also for us too, So we feeling that daily oil. We feeling that, and just make sure we safeguard our spirit and being indulged in the word, man. So all praises. All praises.
That's right, man. Make sure we continuously following the word of God, Yahawah's words and actions, and continuously stay prayed up, fasting, and reading your word, man. Reading your word day in and day out, man. That's all we got in these last days.
That's it, man.
All we got.
That's it. We will see his power. He's going to show up. He's about to show up and show out, y'all. You got to believe it. You got to know it. No matter what you may be facing right now, we understand that Yahawah is still on the throne, man. He will never forsake those that call on his name, and that's keeping his commandments, man. The righteous will never be forsaken. Look at the times of old. You've never see it happen. You never have, and you never will, man.
That's right. That's right.
For real, man. I'll be from with them on fire. Wisdom and knowledge that may go out and come in before this people. For who can judge this thy people that is so great? Yeah, that's that Solomon prayer. Yeah, that's what he asked for. And the Most High said, I'm going to also give you wisdom, and I'm going to give you all the things that you didn't even ask for. That's powerful, man. I love that. Like I said, man, Lord willing, we'll be back again. This is the so-called last day of July, man. Y'all know these days is jumping off the calendar, man. All praise to the Most High, man. We'll be back. Lord willing, we'll be back August the 5th, Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. If you haven't, like I said, turn that bell on, send us some lights up, check out the new video that's up. We got more camp videos on the way, man. All praise to the Most High. I'm not going to talk you to death. We about to get out of here. With that, I'd like to say, call lawyer, Yahawah HaMashaYACH Yahawah. Shalom, Ahabathum, Kwam Yasharala. Until next time, Israel. Shalom.
Shalom, Israel. Kwam Yasharala. All praise to the Most High.
Shalom, family. Have a thumb. Kwam Yasharala. Shalom.